Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today, I am at Electrify Expo. I got to go see a bunch of really cool cars, talk to a lot of really cool people, and I want to share my experience with you all. Let's get into it. So first off, pardon me for my hair. It was really windy. So I just walked out. It was so windy and there was so much music, I couldn't record anything at the event. So I had to wait till I came back out to the car. But I have a bunch of B-roll that I'll put over everything as I kind of reflect upon my experience. So this year, I went to the Electrify Expo in New York on Long Island. It was supposed to be at Citi Field, but the Mets, they're doing well right now in the playoffs. And so they had to kind of shift gears and they moved back here to Nassau Memorial Coliseum where they had it last year. So they had a plan in place. And honestly, I liked the layout this year much better than I did last year, especially for the test drive zone. Now they just had it where you walk in, there's one main vein where you can get into all the lines for all the cars. They even had some restrooms back by the test drive area, so you could use the restroom if you needed to. And it was an overall great experience. So the first thing I wanted to do is just kind of go a rundown of all my test drives that I had today. So I started out with the Tesla Cybertruck. I've seen it before, but I've never driven it. It's incredible. The steer-by-wire is really cool. It's just crazy how nimble such a big car could possibly be, or truck could be. But yeah, it drove really well. My only complaint was with the car that I had, the steering wheel was squeaky. It was really strange. It was like, every time I turned to, that was a little bit odd, but yeah, the power was impressive, especially for that, what it is, a truck. Next, I headed over to Rivian, where I test drove the Rivian R1T. I was fortunate enough to have the quad motor, and that was just awesome. Being able to feel that acceleration, it was absolutely incredible. Definitely a different experience than the Tesla Cybertruck, obviously, because it didn't have steer-by-wire, but really incredible. And that kind of solidified my confidence of going through with our R2 reservation when that comes out. I know that they'll be different for sure, but in general, what Rivian's doing with their cars is great, and I think the R2 is going to be an awesome product that we are going to take delivery of whenever they come out. So probably in 2026, I think is the estimated date. Even if we get it the first batch, we might not even get it till 2027. But anyway, so that was pretty awesome. Then I moved over to Lucid, where I got to test drive the Lucid Air Touring. I kind of wanted to do the Pure, but someone was already in the Pure. So did the Touring. That was great. It's a really nice car. Acceleration's great. So all these cars are just awesome nowadays, and they had all the big names, which was awesome because I've wanted to test drive them so I can kind of compare. And there is certainly a quality difference when it comes to these top tier brands like Rivian and Porsche and Lucid. So after that, I did head over to Porsche, where I got to test drive both the Macan and the Taycan, and I still want to take on. I don't know. The Macan was so nice. I was sitting in it and I'm like, I want this car. Got to test drive the Macan. This is awesome. Very strict German rules having to follow, but this thing is awesome. I mean, the seats are so comfortable. I just what can I sell to buy one of these? Maybe my house? Maybe my house. The seat was so comfortable and it drove so well and it was just so high quality. So maybe in 5 years I can pick up a used Macan, and maybe I'll make more money where I can do that. But it's such a nice car. So if you're in the market, which I feel like most of my viewers aren't, but if you're in the market for a Macan, go for it because it's super awesome. And I was in the Macan 4. Obviously they have the rear-wheel drive Macan, and then they have the Macan 4S. So there's that. Then I got to go on the Taycan. That was fun and enjoyable. I forgot to say this about the Porsche experience. They don't really let you like rip it around. They have like an instructor driver who's at the head. You're in your car by yourself, which is cool. And there's like a walkie-talkie and they're talking to you, and you have to stay in line, and they stay the speed limit. But it was still cool. Got to at least accelerate 0 to 45, and it was a good experience. But very, very German of them to be regimented. Just kidding. But yeah, so that was an awesome experience. All right, everybody, I'm in the Taycan. Dream come true. This is the 4S, so the spicy one, but not the spiciest. After that, I headed over to Nissan, and they had the Nissan Ariya. And everyone, you know, the space I like to talk in is affordable-ish cars for the average person like me, because like I can't go buy a Macan. I'd love to, but I can't buy a Macan. So I test drove the Ariya, and I feel like the Ariya gets overlooked a lot just because the charging's not spectacular. It was kind of late to market. The pricing was really expensive when it came out, but now they've dropped the pricing a lot with the new model year. Also, all the trims are confusing. But anyways, I got to test drive the Ariya, and listen, everyone, this is a sleeper EV. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion. It drove really nice. The acceleration was good, and this was the E-Force, so it was the all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. I don't know. It's one or the other. And the acceleration was good. The deceleration and regen was good and very natural feeling, and it was a nice car. Like, I don't know. The screens were kind of fuzzy and blurry. Kind of reminded me of like the Lexus screens. Maybe that's just, maybe all like the Japanese companies get their screens from the same place, because I was in a Lexus and that screen was fuzzy too. But I mean, the car itself was really nice. And I was highly impressed. And I've always liked the look of the Ariya. That was actually the first EV we were going to get after the Kona. We weren't going to get the ID4. We were going to get the Ariya, and then it just never came. So we went with the ID4, and then eventually the Ariya came. So again, the charging, it's not amazing, but it's a really flat curve, and it basically, it has almost the exact same 10 to 80% charge time as the ID4. It's flat. So the early part of the curve isn't as good as the ID4. So everybody, if you're interested in the Nissan Ariya, I would take a look at it, test drive it. It's a really nice car, and I think you might enjoy it. That one surprised me. I'm so happy with the Ariya. I'm so happy with the ID4. So happy with the Equinox EV, but it was a really nice car. So then after that, I was kind of done in the test drive area. I went and I had some food. I had this, it was like challah bread covered in Parmesan and with pulled pork. It was very good. And then I headed over to the Amazon experience or something like that, Charge Zone, or it's something like that. And I chatted with Matt Teskey, the CEO of Chargeway, a little bit. This is the first time we had met ever in person. We've met each other on Twitter, and we've done some video calls together and whatnot. But he's a cool guy. Actually, it's funny. The first time we ever communicated was like a Twitter battle, and that prompted us having a little video call together. And it was nice to talk and get his perspective and share my perspective. And yeah, he's a really, really cool guy. I had a nice chat with him. Then I headed over and I got to sit in a couple cars. I sat in the GMC Sierra Denali? Is that what it's called? I forget the name. I'll put it as a subtitle. Sat in that, very nice. It's got a vertical screen as opposed to the horizontal screen that the Silverado has. Not sure how I feel about that. I actually kind of like the horizontal screen, but it was very, very nice, high quality. Got to see all the outlets. The bed was coated, but I don't know if it comes that way or if you have to get that special, like an add-on, but I did want to note that, and has outlets in the front and the back. Then I checked out the R2. I actually checked out the R2 at the beginning of the day too, but the R2, it just looks great. I just stared at it for a little bit to kind of get my opinion about it, and should we get this car? And I love it. I think it's awesome. And as long as it will make sense, which it should by the time it comes out, the ID4 will be paid off enough, and hopefully it won't depreciate anymore. And we'll trade that in, and we'll get the R2. That'll be really nice. So that was cool. They didn't let you go in it, but I tried to get as much video as I could so you could kind of see. Then I continued to work my way around, and I checked out the Volvo EX30 last year. It was under wraps. You weren't allowed to go in it this year. They didn't care. They let you go in it. So I sat in it. It's very, you know, it's a budget car, budget materials, but not terrible. It feels okay. I didn't like the steering wheel. I think I'll probably cut video in and show that. I think I say that. Didn't love it. It was very thin. Almost too thin. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And I think the Equinox steering wheel is a little too chunky. So somewhere in the middle would be nice. I really like the Macan steering wheel. I'm inside the Volvo EX30. Pretty interesting. They're actually letting you in this year. It's really loud outside, so it's hard to really do any videos. But here's the screen. It's very small, if I'm being honest. While I'm driving, it would probably be okay. I wish it was maybe a little bit more this way, maybe a little bit bigger, if that's where all this speed limit and stuff is going to be. Here's the infotainment. Google Maps built in. Looks very clean. And again, I'm just quickly, I don't want to take up everyone else's time. Oh, here are all the buttons to control different things. Oh, you can get YouTube. That's interesting. I wish I could get YouTube in the Equinox. Here's the cup holders. That's pretty cool. So one push out, in, and then you can also put that back. So that's nice. Windows, phone charger. Not cool that I can tell. Hidden storage down here. Steering wheel, it's very thin. Yeah, I don't really like the shape, if I'm being honest. Not a big fan of the shape of this. The panoramic is really nice though. I'll be honest. Good headroom. Let me get this in my driving position, and then I'm gonna see. Oh, and the pedals from the bottom too. And I want to see if I can sit behind myself. So I'm 6'1". I think that'd be pretty interesting. In general, it's definitely feels very economy. And then I was able to check out that a little bit, and the infotainment. The screen was a little small. Went in the back seat and then did a little back seat test, which I'll cut in here. All right.
What is that?
Barely fit, but I can fit. I'm 6'1". I think I gotta spread the legs a little bit. But yeah, it was an okay car. I'm kind of glad I didn't get it. I don't think I would have fell in love with it. Obviously, the driving is supposed to be very good, especially for the twin with the dual motors. But yeah, not for me. But if it's for you, whenever it comes, who knows when that's going to be, you can go ahead and get that car. But remember, I got rid of my reservation for that and picked up the Equinox instead. And then actually, while I was at the EX30, I ran into Dave Connor, Kyle Connor's dad, and we just chatted for a little bit. He's a nice guy, and his wife was there, so I didn't want to take up their time, and I could tell he wanted to go, but I did let him know that the Macan was there so they could go drive it if they wanted to, because it's a nice car. But I'm sure they've probably driven Macans enough in their life. But anyways, it was nice meeting him. He's just super down to earth and chill, and it was awesome. So yeah, that was kind of my experience at Electrify Expo. Aside from that, I did walk around. There's a lot of e-mobility stuff. I'm not really into e-mobility. If you are, I'm sorry, it's not my thing. But there was a lot around there. There weren't as many like EV-centric vendors as there were last year. There's only like a couple, but it was mostly like e-mobility companies. Honestly, that's what most of the vendors were. So yeah, there was that. And that's pretty much it. So really enjoyed my time here at Electrify Expo. If you're someone, like you're watching my videos and you're interested in EVs but you don't have one, this is like the perfect event for you. You can come, you can test drive a bunch of different EVs, get a feel for them, because every EV is different in how it works with the braking and the acceleration and the drivetrain and the powertrain and all that stuff. So you can come here, you can test out every brand. You don't have to go to a bunch of different dealers. You can go to one place. Although Chevy wasn't there, GMC was there, but Chevy wasn't there, and I think that's a miss for Chevy. And I think they should consider coming to this event, because this is like target market, people who are interested in EVs, and the Equinox coming in that $35,000 price range, and then $27,500 with the tax credit. And like, I mean, people are going to buy that car, and they could have been advertising it at all these events, but they didn't. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so if you're on the fence, come on out. If you love EVs and just want to drive EVs you've never been able to drive before, come on out, because I get to drive Porsche, the Cybertruck, all these really cool cars that I just don't really have an opportunity to do. And I just don't have time to go to the the showrooms and test drive them, because I'm too busy with my real job. So yeah, so that's all I have. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on all the social medias, and I will catch you all next time.